Hey everybody, welcome to a conversation on Christmas. Scott's going to share the story with us.
Am I? That's what we're doing? I don't know.
We don't have a regular podcast today because we don't have a regular message. So it's our Christmas podcast. And if you are reading this on the Substack, you're not doing much reading because there's no post to go with it.
Where do you guys land on Christmas? Not
Wow.
Jesus Christmas. Like we're pastors. Is there do you have a Christmas movie you need to watch? Is there something that you need to eat before it's Christmas?
Why don't we let Greg go first because he has nothing to say.
I know this will be a full spectrum, and I am so excited about it. Which is why
It's interesting. I don't know. Like
Christmas is lame.
So if we would wait. All right. So I'm curious about this actually because I know in the spectrum where Greg lies.
The Christmas spectrum.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he's to that other extreme.
Yeah.
And if Rachel was here today, it's easy that she's the other extreme.
Mm-hmm.
And now I legitimately don't know where you and I lie.
Interesting.
Do you know where you and I lie in comparison to each other?
This year,
I do.
I have become less curmudgeonly, but I've definitely been
Rachel's
more
closer to me, you're
curmudgeonly
closer to
than
Rachel.
you. Yes.
Wow.
You like all the stuff. You like having stuff to do.
Yeah.
Seeing people.
You know what though? I've had some moments lately, which it's a Christmassy thing, is that I'm always trying to evaluate. I'd like to evaluate who I am and if I'm changing or growing or digressing or imploding or whatever.
That's the New Year's conversation, though.
Oh, yeah. But I do see in me as I am definitely a people extrovert person, but just a little bit more than that, I'm task.
Yeah. Yeah.
And this is like greeting card, very loving words, is that often I see my connection and relating with people as a task.
Yeah, that's where we overlap.
And it doesn't mean that I don't love people. It's just that's not very. Sometimes that can be
The
hard.
way I love people is putting them on my to-do list.
And there are people that go, well, Greg doesn't really care about me because I'm just a thing to check off on his to-do list.
Yeah. Well, when we watch this back,
it is unfair.
It's unfair.
That needed to be written down, though. The way that I love people, I put them on my task list.
That was one of the first things I ever put on the list.
I just think that I can feel that in me, and sometimes I feel conflicted in it because I do like people, but I can have a moment where I go, "Hang on a second, I have to do this, otherwise I can't like you until I'm done with this, or I can't give you attention or focus." Or
and I say, "Hey, I've got to do this thing. Come and do this thing with me."
Yeah.
And then
it is. I mean, it is beautiful that we have this. That we're a team, and incredible how different we all work, like beautifully and painfully, and great. Needed is probably the best word.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. And so when we like you come to holidays, I do like this stuff. I like to get it done.
You love it.
Hmm?
You love putting up the big tree.
No, I like the big tree up. Actually,
I like the big tree.
Okay.
I don't.
He does it because he needs to, but once it's up, he loves it.
Yeah. Like I've made a bunch of things for people for Christmas. Things that I think are not crafts, stuff that I think are good to make.
I have yet to get or make a gift.
Our Minnesota is up in our house.
Nice. I think, but I try to think about. I say, and people think that I like to make stuff, and I was thinking about it yesterday, because I had just a little bit of time to finish one thing that I was making, and I go, do I really like making stuff?
Sometimes.
I like creating things. I don't know if I like making stuff.
What's the difference?
I like solving the problem. Like I like figuring out how I am going to make something. But
And I
sometimes the making stuff feels like sanding and painting,
And
which
you-
I do know.
And you would
Is there a difference between your first time making something and the 10th time?
It'll
the
be
10th
better.
time he does gets it done in a 10th of the
It may be better and
Yes.
easier, but enjoyment wise, is the first time the fun time?
I don't know. I really don't know.
Because to me, that's the difference between making and creating.
Ah.
Is creating is the first time. Making is, can you replicate it?
Well, my constant creation is to efficiency.
Yeah.
Because what I made for my brother, I mean, I made it pretty. It wasn't a ton of time, but I go after making it once. I go, oh man, I can make 10 of these really quickly and better. Do I enjoy it?
You like that it's more efficient.
I don't know.
You like that it's more efficient.
Yeah,
You may not like making it, but you like that you can make it
but I like
faster.
making stuff.
Yeah.
What is wrong with me?
And you like making stuff for people because most likely gifts and service are two of the ways that you show people, hey, I care about you.
I don't know. I feel like I bring this up all the time in way different aspects. But it was on this morning at 5 a.m. driving Tori to the airport. We had a conversation about how I don't think anyone knows what they think or believe, like in any given moment. Like
Yeah.
you saying right now, do I like making things? Do I not? I think if you think of this moment, like how you feel about it, it's impossible.
That's true.
You don't know. But I think like always the best measure is always looking back.
Yeah.
And looking forward. So looking back, you go, what about those processes of making things? Like, what did you enjoy? Yeah, well, I enjoyed giving it to people. I enjoyed people seeing it. I enjoyed all
Yeah.
those are absolute. Okay, so that's why. And what looking forward, what things about it gives you excitement or hope? Like those are the motivating things. So anytime we're like in a moment where we're like, do I love this? Do I like this? Am I enjoying this? We're humans, I think, are just terrible at
Yeah.
knowing.
And
Like,
so
I can have a meal placed in front of me and think like I can go to a restaurant and I can have this experience, and in the moment I feel like this is so good, but then I don't go back there for years.
Mm.
Maybe it wasn't that good.
Yeah.
Like I just feel like we get overwhelmed with the feeling of a moment, but that's not actually a great indication of what we really think or believe.
yeah. Well, one side note is by that measure, you don't like Christmas. No, but I think the thing that really does go to Christmas experience and the Christmas story that I'm going to bring to the Christmas Eve thing is that I think life has got these infinite number of moments, and we're really, really, really good at dismissing the value of a moment and also evaluating, giving value to moments as well. So we dismiss moments and think moments are too important at the exact same time.
Yeah.
And so that's, I think, processing Christmas Eve this year. I mean, it's going to be like a splash, quick story conversation. Is that there are things that we do over and over again, relentlessly do over and over again. And could you give story to what happened the last time you did it, or when you did it 10 times ago? And sometimes they're meaningful. It's not just like, I don't remember what I had for breakfast on Monday. That's one thing.
Sure.
But I think even important value, like somebody who says Christmas is important or valuable, has, I don't know, stands out as an important moment as a family thing. Well, what did you do for Christmas in 2009? I have no
I
idea.
don't remember. You picked the year.
Yeah, that's
You nailed it.
and that's such an important. Sometimes it's trauma. Sometimes it's, but just the repetition of like you can build into this perspective. Like Christmas is the most important family time of the year. This gift is the most important thing. I'm going to put time, energy, effort, all these things into it, and then really, really quickly that can fade to nothing.
Yeah.
And so that's one aspect of it. But also the thing that is really, really beautiful about the Christmas narrative, birth of Jesus narrative in Matthew 1 and Luke 1, is that there are some splash moments in life that the shepherds shared that story forever. That was its impact wasn't just in that one moment. The story was forever. Even think about Elizabeth and with Mary coming to visit. That was a moment of, again, a remarkable moment. And then, anyway, you can grab any number of moments in the Christmas narrative, and I think to give value, like that was the moment that changed everything, isn't it? But also to realize life is this accumulation of these valuable moments, and so how do we recognize them as they go by, or live them?
Yeah,
as they're there.
As you were talking about it, I was thinking, oh man, there's something on the list about this, and I found it.
Oh no.
Because one of the things like Greg said, I think it was last Christmas, was if you love your life, you don't need holidays. And I think there's a little bit of truth in that like every day is important, but the holiday, the event, those things amplify. Like it's the most important family time of the year. Well, it's the most amplified family of the year. So if it's good family, then it's important.
Yeah.
If it's bad family, then it's tough.
Yeah.
But when you look back at the Christmas story, you get some of that amplified family.
Yeah.
Because you've got cousin, you've got like all of these things that roll in together. I don't know if you're talking about John the Baptist and Jesus, but I didn't look in the book.
I think tied into that, so Simeon is one of the people that has a moment. He really felt imparted by like a God felt moment that he would see the Messiah before he died, and but to bring this degree of anticipation to every step, like awareness to these steps. I feel like if there would be one, if I was Simeon and I was the story, going back all the way to my task life world, I would be going, I got to go to the temple today. And all right, I got that done. What am I doing next? All that stuff. And God would say to me, he would go, wow, you said you did see the Messiah, but you were too busy to actually notice him as you stepped over, pushed by. And so, again, and not everybody's that way. And this is for sure, it's a message for me, but I think that the thing that is really, really important that is exemplified in these moments is that, Elizabeth had a moment where she gave credit to the leaping inside of her, John's leaping, to like, wow, this is saying something about Mary and Jesus. And could have been just a moment like, that's crazy. And then the shepherds, they, again, angel, freak out, all these things. But then from that moment, they went to Bethlehem and they found Jesus. And again, it could have been this moment of like, the crazy could have stopped when the angels disappeared. The impact could have stopped. And then with Simeon, I just think that, again, he had, which is the one that is, again, the most impactful for me, because I feel like to some degree, I can accredit the divine to the divine, the Elizabeth moment. Some degree, I'm going to check things out after, but I think for me, the big one would be to just to be able to have a moment of awareness, and so again, it's celebrating these moments and not just letting them slip by. Let them shape.
And there's one of the things I have heard about that and tried to be aware of in life is those moments that I've heard teachers call convergent space. It's that moment where your daily life and the divine get real close. And I think it happens more than we think because we are busy.
Yep.
But those moments of just realizing, oh, this was important.
Yeah, this is important.
And being able to say that. I think Simeon had that.
Yeah. Yeah. And the challenge, to Greg's point earlier, it's not to just be able to have, is this a good moment or not? Am I enjoying this or not? But to bring the accumulation of moments to our life and our experience, and to grow, to change, to process all these things, as opposed to just another routine moment happens, another routine moment happens.
It's a part of the journey.
Stupid journey.
I love the journey.
Yeah, no, I like the journey. It just is. It'd be so great if we just get there already.
But it wouldn't.
I know.
That's the thing.
Yeah. Well, Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.